to Producer Profile. Producer Profile is a show where we showcase some of the talented people who work behind the scenes in the entertainment, business, and local communities while making positive influences on the lives of others.
Welcome to Producer Profile. I'm Stella Winston.
And I'm Jim Hill.
Now, Jim, our guest producer today loves art and loves culture. In fact, the name of her show is called Culture Club. And her name is Desiree Addison. And I'd like to welcome Desiree Addison to Producer Profile.
Thank you for having me on this episode of Producer Profile.
Okay.
Desiree,
Yes.
why art? Why?
Well, I've written since I was 10 years old, and in the back of my mind, I've known that I would be involved in something to do with words, television. I went into advertising when I got out of college. I just always loved the creative process, just sitting and thinking and creating and just, letting whatever it is that, the creative, flow come through me, basically.
Let me ask you something. You know we had a renaissance back in the 1920s in
Yes,
art.
yes.
Are you trying to start something?
Well, actually, I believe it started.
Okay.
I would say maybe 10 years ago. There's been such an explosion in not just black art, not just, like film, black painting, black sculpture, or African American. You can't even say, because it's more diasporic. It's like from every part of the world. I think there's a convergence of the art from all over the world. All the cultures are, meeting in the central place, and I think that place is the United States and America, is where you can actually partake of the arts of almost every culture in the world. And I think that's what's so great about our country.
What's the state of art in Brooklyn? Like, what is it?
Oh my goodness, it is incredible. I mean, there are I would think every week there's another dance troupe opening up, another play. I mean, right here on Atlantic Avenue, the Brooklyn Academy of Music is just phenomenal. I mean, you can get everything there. They have opened up a theater where you can see documentaries. You can see emerging black filmmakers. You can see emerging women filmmakers, not just black art. There's dance troupes. There was a BAM film festival. On my show, I talk about all these things because I found that when I was more youthful, not that I'm not still young, but when I was younger, I would try to go to so many cultural events that I would wear myself out. I'd have to skip work on Monday. I couldn't make it. I was wore out. And so, I would like people to know, about all these great things that are happening and anything I can do to help artists publicize. Because my profession is marketing. That's what I do to, earn the money to black clothes to go out.
So when did you start your show?
My first show was in September 2001, and my first guest was a dance troupe called Something Positive, and they basically do a lot of folk dances from Trinidad, from Africa, from all over the Caribbean, and it was a very nice show, and it was a chance for them to come out and let people know that they're trying to raise money to get their own space.
Okay. Well, let me ask you something. What about the hip-hop culture? Is that a culture? Is that an art?
Oh, definitely. If you saw DMX's video, you know that that's definitely, it's an art form.
All right.
It's just, it's what's so great about, art, and that's a broad term that encompasses so much. Is there something for everyone? Is there something that you can relate to that can make your heart beat a little faster, make you feel more alive, make you feel more in touch with being a human being?
Okay.
Because I think art should bring value to life. And there's so many different ways that we can do that.
Okay, well, we're going to take a musical break. This time we're going to hear James Brown's Mother Popcorn.
Wow. I haven't heard that in a while. And I still know how to do that dance.
Okay.
Right.
What was that?
Yeah,
The
remember that?
popcorn.
No,
Okay.
oh, girl. We just look young.
Do the popcorn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes ducked me. Said, now see what you were doing. Still ahead of me. When I get burnt, I get sad. When I want to love it, you got to have. See, got to have a mother with me.
Welcome back to Producer Profile. That was the timeless
James Brown.
the innovator. I mean, he seems just as fresh today as he was all those years ago.
James he's actually been, he broke the paradigm in the 50s of what rhythm and blues is supposed to be, and he has just been a trendsetter his whole life. And in fact, I think Prince and Michael Jackson should really get together and give him a tribute, because they really took a lot from him, you know, just getting on stage and creating your own dances and just having your own style of dress, because what was he wearing, like bolero jackets? And I mean, he was definitely you know.
He had it going on.
Yes.
But I also hear in a lot of the rap songs, they sample a lot of his work.
Yes, it's, you know, there's a lot of artists who owe James Brown, you know, a tribute of some kind, because, you know, he's had a hard time as an artist. I mean, you know, with the problems, because I have my own personal feelings about James Brown. I feel like, not to get political, but he had a drug problem, not a criminal problem, and I don't think the Godfather soul should have ever been in jail. I mean, it's like putting your king, you know, send him to Elba, but don't, you know. That's my opinion.
Could I ask you a question?
Sure.
Based on your show, what would you define American art?
Well, see, it's hard to, you know, to say something like American art, because there's so many cultures influencing what is the art that we see. And particularly, there's a lot of African American influence in quote unquote American art that doesn't get of course we don't get credit for it. I mean, it's co-opted, and then it's made profitable, and not always the black person who, you know, initiated it gets any benefit from it. But I would say that a lot of American art is black influence, black African American influence, and but I would say that it's from all over the world: Africa, Europe, Asia. There's a lot of, you know, influence coming into art. But, you know, let's just talk about some of the things that I particularly like, that I'm passionate about. I like film. Okay. And I've seen some really great films that certainly were off the beaten track. There's filmmakers who are sort of established filmmakers at this time, like Spike Lee, who's doing something like Bamboozle, which to me was sort of, you know, revolutionary.
Right.
You know, and
right,
I like
right,
that.
Right.
You know, and that's what I consider art in film. I just saw Monsoon Wedding, which was beautiful because it was a musical, it was a drama, it was everything. It was their culture.
Right.
But it was brought forth so artfully and so beautifully. And in fact, I saw similarities between that and the movie American Beauty, which was also sort of a departure from, you know, the studio style of filmmaking, even a departure from like indie filmmaking. You know what I mean?
So what happened? What did they do differently?
In the Monsoon Wedding? Well, anyway, there's a place called, I don't know if it's a real place or a mythical place, but it's called Bollywood, and that's where Indian movies are made. I mean, they produce something like maybe 20,000 films a year compared to like the American film system, which doesn't produce anywhere near that number. And most of them are like 3 and 4 hour epics, like musicals, and there's no sex. So you can just imagine for 3 or 4 hours they're dancing and they're singing and they're, you know, the stories with a lot of plot and twists like that. So their filmmaking, their movie industry is very, very healthy because it's part of the culture to go and have these experiences every weekend. So now what this filmmaker, her name was Mira Nair, wanted to do was to show American audiences what it was that, you know, Indian filmmaking is all about. And she was able to do that by incorporating some musical numbers, some dance scenes. I don't know if you've ever seen any East Indian movies. You've seen them, you know, a lot of dances, high-pitched singing.
I've seen the videos.
Yeah. So basically it was that, but it was able to bring out some culture, something about their marriage their marriage rituals, the dress when you get married. I mean, it was just such a beautiful spectacle. And I just thought that was something interesting that the average American person doesn't get to see all the time. They usually go and they see action, shooting, gratuitous sex, you know, that sort of thing.
Now we have a clip of your show. Okay. And what can we expect to see?
All right. Now I went to the International Art Expo, and it's held every year at the Jacob Javits Convention Center, and they had something like 5,000 artists there. And some of the people there were actually business people there to sell prints or whatever. But I happened upon a group of women from Uganda, and they were there with art that was created by Ugandan women and a couple of men. And basically what they want to do is try to rebuild their country by using their gifts, their crafts. And this is the Huza collection. And basically you see the clip and you'll understand what they want to do.
So let's go to the tape.
Hi, I'm here at the booth of Huza Collection. And as you can see, it's African art and it's from Uganda. And I'm going to let this artist here tell you a little bit more about her work. Okay. Introduce yourself first.
My name is Masika Virungi. I come from Uganda. I came here to exhibit the work of the women. Most of the people in this group are widows, and they bring up more than one children with the extended families. So when they had to start the crafts to be able to earn a living, a decent living, and be able to support their families. Because of what has been going on in Africa and many other countries, many women have found themselves in a very difficult position of heading the family. They head the family with extended families, and they have to find a way or means of supporting themselves.
Okay, so you're an artist. What here have you created?
I make these baskets. They are made up of the raffia, papyrus, and banana fiber, natural.
No, okay, go ahead. no, it's fine. Let me see that.
And then,
This is beautiful.
yes.
Okay.
And then I make these bags.
The little purses, you make these purses out of, what is this made out of?
This one
Raffia?
is, no, palm tree leaves.
Palm tree leaves, okay. And this is not for food, this is decorative? You put stuff,
You could use it as a fruit basket.
a fruit basket, okay.
And then you could use it as a
Okay. And these are dolls made by?
by the same group, by the women
Okay.
with the baby.
Oh, how sweet. Oh.
The black dog.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
She's beautiful. Now, how much are you're interested in finding distributors, markets for your markets? Okay, okay. Did you do the boutique there as well?
No, the boutique is done by a member of our group.
A member of your collective. Does the group have, is it called the Who's Collection? Okay, all right. So this is really beautiful art. How much is the range of prices for your stuff? If people are interested in coming down, because they can come down tomorrow. There's another, well, actually, when this airs, it won't be.
As you know, they are not really very expensive compared to what we have seen. We had to airlift our goods because Uganda is landlocked.
Yes.
And we were given short notes when they offered us a place.
Oh, that's
there was
wonderful.
no other way.
Okay. So you came all the way from Uganda to the International Art Expo to let people know about the beautiful art that's being done by the women of Uganda to help rebuild their country. Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, what is this here? Is this a drum?
It's a drum.
Oh, okay. All
It's
right.
a drum. It's a hand drum.
Okay. Okay. If someone's interested in like contacting you, is there any way they can get in contact with you?
Yes. Here or in Uganda?
Here would be easiest for people viewing the show.
Here we are staying at Pickwick Hotel.
Okay. But after the Art Expo leaves, where will you be?
We go back to Uganda.
Oh, okay. So how are you finding someone?
Welcome back to Producer Profile. We just saw a clip from Desiree Addison's show Culture Club.
Yes, and if anyone's interested in contacting that woman to distribute, to have some of her pieces in your store, it's the Who's Collection, TheHuzaCollection @yahoo.com.
I think you should say that one more time.
Oh, okay.
And slowly.
Okay, it's the Who's Collection, TheHuzaCollection @yahoo.com.
Okay.
Okay. And my show will air on March 30th at 8:30 p.m. on channel 34 and 67. If anyone's interested in seeing some of the other artists that I interviewed.
Now, do you have specials, or do you have a monthly or weekly?
It's a monthly. It comes on once a month, and it broadcasts twice. It comes on, well, this particular show is only going to be on once. I don't understand that, but I only got, I'm coming on at 8:30. But usually it's on in the afternoon and in the evening. So if anyone's interested in finding out when my show times are, they can contact me. Here's another email address, addison1@concentric.net. That's ADDISON, the number 1, @concentric.net.
Let me ask you this, because I'm feeling a very, very powerful vibe from you. What do you want the audience, how do you want to educate us? Because there's something you're trying to show us.
Yes, yes. Basically, I'm trying to show the audience that everyone's art has value.
Okay.
Even if you've got crayons and you're coloring, you know. That is an expression of who you are and your humanity, and I think that people need to show their creativity more and to express their creative nature more, because I think that would lead to a more peaceful world. I think that people are very, there's a lot of tension because people feel that they can't be themselves, that there's something not good enough about themselves, and I think that if people could play more and, you know, play with paint or crayons or, you know, clay or even musical instruments. I mean, that's something that they took out of the schools, and I think that has had a detrimental effect on a lot of people not having mastery of, you know, a musical instrument, something to go to relax yourself, to make beautiful music in your home. You have to rely on turning on the radio and maybe not hearing what's conducive to a peaceful situation in the house. I don't know.
Okay. How does it feel to have a television show? Television is a very powerful medium. And what type of response have you received about the shows that you've done?
Well, the people who have viewed the show, and I don't have the numbers, the Nielsen numbers or anything, but it's been a favorable response. They feel that the guests are interesting. They'd like to see them again. They feel that perhaps it would be nice to have a website or something that they could go to get information on how to get on the show, how to get in contact with the artists, because the credits go so fast and, it's over, and then that's it, because it's not like a stationary show where, you can dial BCAT and say, I want to talk to the producer. So I think that people watch the show, they enjoy it, and then that's basically it. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's a very transitory medium. People enjoy it while it's on, and then that's it. They may have the ones who express the desire to contact me have contacted me, but I haven't heard from a great deal of the audience as to their response. I would like to do a survey. I was wondering if I could do like a giveaway of some tickets to something. Is there any rule against that on BCAT? Do you know?
Sure, you can
like
you can find a way to get around
a drawing or something, so people could write in and express to me something and possibly.
No, you have the ability to do a website through BCAT.
Oh yeah, I actually have it.
Yes.
In front page, they told me I have to upgrade it to something a little bit more, flashy.
Now let's talk about the future. Where do you want to go? What is a dream show that you want to do?
The reason I call this show Culture Club, because I would like to actually have this be a club. I would like to maybe in the future have an audience of people who are interested in talking to a particular artist or actually seeing a particular group perform. They could be the studio audience, it could be, something like that, or maybe a group of us could go and see a show at a museum, because I've seen some phenomenal shows at, right at the Brooklyn, Museum of Art. I mean, I saw the Jewels of the Romanovs. I don't know about you, but if you're a woman who likes jewelry, okay, you should have been there. Really? And the only way to get in was to buy your ticket in advance, because it was that type of response. I mean, around the corner. I mean, and there's that type of opportunities in right in our vicinity to see art at that caliber. And jewelry is art. The person who sits down to make a piece of jewelry very well, that is an artisan. Right. And that is what I'm saying. I mean, there's so many people who are blessed with creativity, and we have to start recognizing each other's gifts and, just applauding each other's efforts to create, because even in the wake of 9/11, you saw the artist's response to the situation with the lights. How they have the lights going up. And someone said to me, when they flicked the switch, it seemed to me as if it was like the souls just went up to heaven. I said, that is so beautiful. And actually the person who said that was a filmmaker. But it's just the artistic response to such a horrible event is one of value creation. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm about, and that's what I'd like to encourage in my show and in my life.
Okay. Now, what part of the production process is the most challenging for you? I mean, because there's pre-production, production, and then post-production. What's the most challenging? What's the most enjoyable? And what could you do without? What could you pay someone else to do?
I love when they say it's a wrap. Okay. No, I'm not the most technical person as far as why it goes here and why it goes here. I'm one of the people who were able to program a VCR, when they first came out, so I do have a little bit of skill. But I really don't want to get into, I know I have to, because you have to be trained in all of the facets of production. But I would, if someone else who loves setting up things and putting together wires wants to do it and wrapping the wires up, then I would prefer that they do that, because I don't like to do that. I like to actually talk to the guests, get the guests for the show. I would like to do pure production, which would be helping maybe some other producers get some talent and some content. And I would also like to write. And ultimately, I would like to stage a play, like a one-act play on my show, because that's something that I was doing in college that I let go of, that I would, I have a medium now.
Well, thank you for coming to Producer Profile.
Okay.
Desiree Addison.
Thank you for listening to me.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm glad you came. Your show is Culture Club.
Yes.
And it comes on again when?
March 30th at 8:30 p.m. on Channel 34 and Channel 67.
Thank you for watching Producer Profile. I'm Stella Winston.
And I'm Jim Hill.
Till next time.